Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is urging the state not to license Camp Mystic this summer. This comes as the parents of 9 Camp Mystic campers and counselors who died in the July floods filed a lawsuit against the Texas Department of State Health Services. Fox 7's Jenna King is in the newsroom with more on that. Jenna.
Yeah, Mike, the lawyer representing the Camp Mystic families tells me if the camps had been inspected as they should have been, this tragedy could have been avoided.
It's been 7 months since floodwaters tore through the Texas Hill Country, killing more than 100 people, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic.
This tragedy was avoidable.
The lawsuit claims Texas DSHS licensed Camp Mystic despite failing to comply with state law, which requires youth camps to maintain a written and posted evacuation plan for each building.
They were charged with responsibility in a number of ways, but primarily and first and foremost, for this case, they were charged with the responsibility to make sure that there was a good and sound evacuation policy in place.
Instead, the lawsuit claims Camp Mystic's emergency instructions directed campers to stay inside their cabins during a flood, including cabins in designated flood zones. The filing describes that policy as an anti-evacuation plan.
The cabins, in fact, turned out to be death traps because the children were told to stay in the cabins, and the instructors were told to stay in the cabins. The children did what they were told to do. The counselors did what they were trained to do.
The suit argues by failing to enforce state safety requirements, DSHS officials consciously and recklessly endangered the children the laws were designed to protect. According to the lawsuit, DSHS inspected the nearly 100-year-old camp annually, including 2 days before the flooding.
The counselors, if they had walkie-talkies or iPhones, could have been in touch with the leadership of the camp and said, okay, the water is now coming in to the cabin. We need instructions. And they could have easily been moved, and this lasted over a 2-hour period. They could have easily been moved uphill maybe 60 yards, and they would be alive today.
In a letter to the DSHS this week, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said they should not grant Camp Mystic a license until the deaths are investigated. He notes the Texas House and Senate have established general investigating committees to look into the events of the deadly floods. But State Representative Wes Verdell pushed back on X, saying the camp is not reopening the same flood-damaged cabins and has installed new flood warning systems, calling the disaster unprecedented.
We reached out to DSHS for comment, but it says it does not comment on pending litigation. Camp Mystic has announced plans to reopen next summer. Its current license will expire on March 6th. For it to reopen, DSHS must renew that license. Back to you, Mike.